NHL Playoff recap night 3, a couple of game 2s tonight, as well as the final 2 game 1s of the first round. The Bruins and Leafs kicking us off the second of 2 games in Boston to start that series, and it looked good for the Bruins early once again. Morgan Geekie on the power play from a beautiful pass from Brad Marchand makes it 1-0, but Max Domi about 15 seconds later would tie the game at 1, and then before the end of the period, David Pastrnak would strike on another unbelievable pass, this one from Pavel Zacha, a spinorama the likes of Patrick Kane in his prime, makes it 2-1 after 1. In the second, though, it's a tight scoring game. The Leafs thought they had tied it on a Tyler Bertuzzi high stick call that got, of course, waved off, and then John Tavares, with about a minute and a half to go in the period, makes it a 2-2 game. We head to the third tied that way, and then a little over halfway through, Austin Matthews gets a nice breakaway lob pass from Max Domi. He goes in, backhand, forehand, and buries it for the eventual game winner. It's a 3-2 win in Game 2 for the Leafs. Linus Ullmark will probably not be back in for Game 3. He didn't have a bad game by any means. A couple really big saves, especially that glove save that got pulled off the line. That was a close one, but 30 of 33 for him, a 909. Ilya Samsonov, 27 of 29 for a 931, and a very, very big win for the Leafs, splitting the series, headed back to Toronto. The Canes hosting the Islanders for their second game of the series, and the Islanders were all over it, especially early. Palmieri and Horvat both scoring in the first, albeit in the latter half of the first, but 2-0 after 1 is great shape for the Islanders to be in, and then less than 4 minutes into the second, they make it a 3-0 game on a nice little patient play from Anders Lee right out front of the net. A lot of traffic around there, but he gets the puck through the massive bodies. Again, forehand, backhand, just enough room to get it by Freddie Anderson, and it's 3-0 relatively early here. But the Canes weather the storm. Teuvo Teravainen scores 1 before the end of the period to make it a 3-1 game, and in the third, they roar back. Seth Jarvis halfway through makes it 3-2. Sebastian Aho, less than 3 minutes to go, makes it 3-3, and 9 seconds later, Jordan Martinook chips the puck in. They forecheck, as the Canes always do, and Varlamov, I think, just thought this puck was getting wrapped around to his right. It goes back to his left, and it's a 4-3 game with a little over 2 minutes to go. As much as the Islanders tried, they were not able to tie it back up. Jake Gensel with the empty netter, and it's a 5-3 victory in Game 2 for the Canes, a big one in comeback fashion. And this is tough for the Islanders, man. They had a good start to the game. They get outshot 10-7 in the first, 12-4, though, in the second, and 17-1 in the third. I saw a stat line on Twitter that the shot attempts were like 110 for the Hurricanes and 28 for the Islanders, and I looked at that and said, well, that seems a bit much, but honestly, it wouldn't shock me the way this game went. 39-12, the final shot count. Varlamov, 34 of 38. We'll probably see Ilya Sorokin in Game 2. I don't think this game is really his fault, but that last goal especially is a bit of a tough one. Freddie Anderson, only 9 of 12, a 750 save percentage, but weathered the storm, was fine, really, despite the fact that his numbers look terrible. And it's, again, a 5-3 victory here for the Canes, going up 2-0 over the Islanders. The Stars hosting Vegas in Game 1 of their series, and a lot of goals here in the first period. Mark Stone, because who else? A minute 23 and on the power play makes it 1-0. The Boo Birds go crazy every time Stone touched the puck tonight. Jonathan Marchessault, about 6 minutes later, makes it a 2-0 game before Jamie Benn, about 8 minutes after that, can make it a 1-goal game, and then 2 goals in the final 3 minutes of the period here. Tomas Hertl makes it 3-1, another power play goal, and Jason Robertson once again making it a 1-goal game with about a minute 30 to play in the first. In the second period, the goal scoring slows down quite a bit. Braden McNabb, the only goal in this one, making it 4-2, and then we head to the third. Mason Marchment making it a 1-goal game for the third time about halfway through the period. Dallas kind of gives their final push, but they're unable to get it done. It's a 4-3 victory on the road for Vegas in Game 1, and they, much like the Islanders, just did a lot of weathering the storm. They get outshot 30-15 in this one, 11-8 in the first, 9-3 in the second, and 10-4 in the third. But Logan Thompson does enough to give them the W. He goes 27 of 30 for a 900. Jay Gottinger, kind of a game to forget for him, 11 for 15 for a 733. Logan Thompson did have the one really bad goal go in on that Marchman goal, but at the end of the day, just enough to get it done, and Vegas leads the series 1-0 on the road. The final game of the night here, the final Game 1 of Round 1, it's Edmonton hosting LA, and Edmonton was on it this game, and it was never really all that close. Hyman and Henrique both scoring about 3 minutes apart in the first period to make it 2-0 after 1. Hyman gets his second of the game just under 5 minutes into the second period to make it 3-0. Another 4 minutes after that, Nuge on the power play makes it 4-0. And by this point, McDavid's already got like 3 points. Hyman's got 2 goals. Henrique's got a couple of assists, or a couple points. Hyman, of course, 2 goals and an assist by this point. Like, all the big guys are chipping in. In the latter half of the second, though, the Kings battle back a little bit. Mikey Anderson makes it a 4-1 game, and Adrian Kempe before the end of the frame makes it 4-2. But we come back out in the third, and it's all Oilers once again. Leon Draisaitl just over a minute in, an absolute bullet to make it 5-2, and then Hyman completes the hat trick at the 6-minute mark, or just past it, to make it a 6-2 game. P.L. Dubois and Trevor Moore would both score at the very end of the period, 16:56 and 18:49 marks, to make it a bit more respectable once again at 6-4, but Warren Foegele, with a couple seconds left, makes it 7-4 on the empty net. And that is the final for Game 1 here. Cam Talbot did not have a great night, 38-44 for an 864. Stuart Skinner, his numbers weren't great either, 33 of 37 for an 892, but more than enough to get the victory if your team is going to get 7 past here. Hyman, 3 goals and an assist. McDavid, 5 assists. Bouchard, 4 assists. Like, everyone that the Oilers needed to play well played very, very well in this one. And frankly, once again, it was never all that close, despite the score being somewhat respectable. I don't know if you consider 7-4 respectable, but either way, the Oilers take care of Game 1. If the rest of the series goes like this, it's probably going to be a pretty quick one because they were all over LA tonight, but we'll see what happens. That is it for playoff recap night 3. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're back into the slew of at least 3 or 4 games pretty much every night until the end of round 1, so we will talk to you guys soon.